This video contains the interview of a detective who became too aggressive with a witness. When John Crawford and his girlfriend, Tasha Thomas, decided to stop for a few items at Walmart, the couple thought they would be in and out of the store in a few minutes before heading home for the evening to enjoy some s'mores. While Thomas looked for some uniform tops, Crawford drifted over to the sporting goods section to look at the pellet guns. While on the phone, he decided to buy one and took it out of the box to examine it. Thinking nothing of his actions, he began to walk through the store. Most people paid no attention. He was clearly just another shopper minding his own business. One couple, however, decided that Crawford was carrying a real weapon and intended to harm people, and they called 911. The police were told that Crawford had an assault rifle and was threatening people, and that they treated the situation as one involving an active shooter. When they arrived, weapons drawn, Crawford was shocked and confused. He did not drop the pellet gun immediately and took a step forward. He was shot several times and died from his wounds. Thomas was taken in for questioning by Detective Rodney Curd, who had not been fully briefed on the situation. Operating under the false assumption that Crawford entered the store armed, he bullied and insulted Thomas as if she were an accomplice.
Where'd they go?
It's on.
Where'd they go, you know?
No, it's down the hole somewhere.
Okay, I could be back here at 12:30 for Sean. So
I'll just go get something to eat then.
we have to go get something.
I gotta, I don't know how long it'll take for lunch, so.
Yeah, 'cause you were gonna go with that.
Yeah, just go get something to eat. We'll hook up later. Okay. Fortunately, the rest of the world doesn't stop when we're doing this.
Yeah, I know.
The phone the entire time in here is going.
You want me to sit over there in the hot seat?
Yeah, I hate having you sit in that thing.
Just go ahead and hook me up. Let's get
Put your arms there and you need to relax. You pee on the floor.
All right, let me finish. Let me put the time we finished with Dan here. So you're going back to the road, huh?
Yeah, the chief wants to keep things moving as far as people to experience different jobs. So after 8.5 years, this is next week will be my last week.
Here's my card, sir.
Okay. You want mine also?
Sure. You don't mind?
Your name definitely sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was up here with my partner when we were with Montgomery County, and I forget what case we would have been working. It was something, I think, to do with,
Did a guy rob Kroger's?
Yeah, it could have
Something,
been.
he was robbing a different Kroger store.
They all run together after a while.
Yeah, I don't know, it's been a while back, I think.
Okay, what's your first name?
Rodney.
Rodney, that's right. Rodney Curd. C-U-R-D. 8/8/14/11/15. Okay, Rodney, like I tell everyone, you guys are peripheral. Your involvement's in the peripheral of this investigation, more of an investigative capacity.
Curd is considered to be on the periphery of the investigation because he was not involved with Crawford and only questioned a witness.
But I tell everybody, because there's a death involved, 2 deaths, that I tell everybody that, despite what you may have been told by your bosses, you're not compelled to talk to me. You can walk out of here at any time. If you get frustrated, you can leave at any time. We're not Mirandizing people that involvement has been not directly related with the incident, if you know what I mean. You know where I'm getting at.
I do.
So, Rodney, how long you worked with Beaver Creek Police Department?
26 years.
26 years. And how long you been a detective?
8.5.
And are you assigned general assignment?
Yes.
Also present is Letitia Schuler. She's a special agent with the Bureau of Criminal Investigation for this interview. Rodney, tell me how basically you become involved in this.
Okay. I was off duty at home. I got a call of a shooting that occurred at Walmart. And shortly after, I realized there was an officer involved shooting. So
Who called you?
Dispatch, one of the dispatchers called. And I was aware that other detectives were coming out, which didn't surprise me because, you know, when something happens, it's all hands on deck, so I knew everybody else in our little section here would be coming out as well. So I arrived a short time later at Walmart, and I just, want me to start talking about it? Or
No, go ahead, I'm
Okay.
sorry, it just doesn't, it's endless.
Anyway, I arrived a short time later at Walmart.
Mhm.
I didn't even make it into the inside of the store. Detective Chad Lindsay met me in the parking lot, and he, you know, probably been there a couple of minutes, and he said that
Is Chad general assignment too?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Is everybody basically general assignment?
we go basically by districts. You know, we have 3
Oh.
districts here.
You don't have them all, do you?
No, I'm District 2 right now, which
Lucky
is
you.
kind of right where we're at here, actually. So, yeah. So anyway, he met me out in the parking lot. He said that the guy that was shot, his girlfriend had brought him to the store, and she's currently in Officer Brownlee's vehicle, and they're going to run her up to the station. He wanted to know if I could go talk to her, which, you know, didn't surprise me again, because, you know, I've been...
Were you briefed totally on the circumstances?
No, because it was still kind of fluid. I mean, I believed there was a possibility that he had brought a gun in with him. I mean, we were still, and really nobody knew anything much at that time. So, and part of my interview was centered with that. I mean, the believing that he had possibly brought a weapon in with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen my interview, but, you know, I kind
I
of
have not.
went after her a little bit, you know, saying, you know, that, you know, I don't necessarily believe that he would have taken a gun in this.
Curd was poorly briefed. Crawford was not carrying a gun before he entered the store, and Thomas, his girlfriend, had nothing to hide.
The store, and you didn't see him. You know,
So,
she,
when you cleared the scene, they asked you to do that, and then you responded back to the...
to the station.
Who did you interview the lady with?
I was by myself.
Okay.
It is recorded.
And what's her name?
Tasha Thomas.
Okay. Good, Rod.
So, anyway, so I spent a couple hours with her, actually, in the next room over, talking to her. And, you know, we talked a little bit about how she knew him, and then we worked our way into the events of the evening and where she picked him up and approximately the time. And
What did she say about where she picked him up in the timeline?
she said about 6 o'clock that evening she picked him up at the Premium Outlets in Cincinnati, which I guess is Monroe.
Yeah.
And she said that his mother had brought him there, and then he got in her Suburban. At least she believed it was the mother. I guess you know, she didn't really see the mother, but I think he told her that's who brought him. I don't want to keep
No. I want to get into. I mean, I don't want to get into every little nuance of the interview because we're going to watch it.
Sure.
But my main concern is the timeline of what she tells you, of when she picked him up, the gun, when you questioned her about bringing a gun. I do know that it certainly appears that he removed a toy gun or a pellet gun or airsoft, whatever you want to call it, from the store. So
Crawford intended to purchase the airsoft and removed it from the box while in the store. He did not try to hide his actions and casually walked around with the toy while on the phone.
I want to know what she says about picking him up, what the purpose was for the trip.
Right.
And
so he was going to, he got in her vehicle, and one thing I don't, you know if you've done this search warrant and all that stuff, is I asked her, I said, what did he have with him? Because again, at the time I believed it was a good possibility he had the gun with him. I asked her what he had with him, and she said he got in the Suburban with a white grocery bag. You know, she described it as being a plastic bag, and she didn't really know what was in there. And you know, we moved in. Did he have a gun with him? And she said, no, I don't know him to carry a gun. And again, I kind of, you know, got a little aggressive with her, I guess. Excuse me, with my with my interview, because I thought there's no way that this guy carried a gun in the store and she didn't know about it. And we talked about his history, if she was aware that, you know, if he would carry a gun, and she swore up and down that she didn't think he ever carried a gun and had never seen him with one. I mean, we talked quite a while about that. So she said at 6 o'clock she picked him up. They drove straight to Walmart, and the reason for going to Walmart, she lives in Fairborn, which of course is just beyond Beaver Creek, so you know, it makes sense as far as her travels. But she said that they were going to make some s'mores, and they wanted to stop at, you know, a store to get that. And she said also she wanted to look for uniform tops for her work, and she said that, so they decided to stop at the Walmart there, and they ended up there. I got my notes now. I think she said between what she thought would be, I think 7:15, 7:30 time frame.
Okay.
So, you know, again, we talked about, okay, when you guys got out of the car, and you know, she described her car to me and stuff, did he have anything with him? And she swore up and down he didn't have anything with him, so this bag she's talking about should still be in the car. She said, you know, they started shopping, and one thing I didn't mention, during the ride down, she mentioned that his baby's mama, who she called Lisa, kept calling him repeatedly, and it sounded like, you know, to our conversation, of course, she's crying part of the time, you know how that goes.
Right.
She was upset when we started, so it wasn't an easy interview, but he would have talked to her at least once during the ride, but it sounded like, you know, she was giving him a hard time about not wanting him to see the kids when she wasn't there, and stuff like that, just kind of child care things. And so most of the calls evidently went to his voicemail. So when they went in the store, I guess she called him again, and they were in the ladies section. And she even described, you know, what kind of stuff she would have in her cart, because, you know, everything was, you know, evacuated. So she mentioned about the, you know, the s'mores and things of that nature should be there. And just so I don't forget about it, later on when we went in the store to, you know, help clear, because there was like a wallet found in one aisle and stuff like that, just to make sure there wasn't anything that somebody would have dropped. I found where she was at in the ladies section, and that cart was there with the work shirt and the s'mores and stuff, so I realized what area she was in. But anyway, so she's in that area. The phone rings again. She says, "Hey, baby, go take the call and, you know, deal with it, go somewhere." So he walked behind of her and did answer the call, and then she said that's the last time she saw him. She claims she didn't hear any shooting or anything else going on. A short time later, an employee, she believes an employee at Walmart, asked her to leave, and then, you know, she was kind of forced outside. She left her cart there, and a short time later, when she was asking about, she was looking for John, that a police officer approached her and realized there was a connection there and put her in his car, and that, I believe that'd be Officer Brownlee that would have initially contacted her. But
did she arrive in Brownlee's car?
Yes.
To the PD?
Yes, she did.
Based on what you know now, was her statements pretty much accurate?
Yes.
Thomas was completely truthful. Neither she nor Crawford had done anything wrong. They were there strictly for a casual visit to the store and had no idea it would turn deadly.
We also, one thing I forgot to mention, I asked her, I said, you know, I asked her, you know, are you under the influence of anything? Have you been drinking or anything? And she wouldn't admit to that. She acted, you know, a little, I don't want to say lethargic, but it could be because she was upset too. I don't know, but, you know, I did ask her that, and I asked her about his demeanor, and she, you know, wouldn't admit to him having anything to drink. She did say he smelled like weed, so, you know, that might be something in the talks, but amongst other things, who knows, but she did say he smelled like weed.
She used the word weed.
Yes.
Okay. Was that the gist of your interview with her?
Yeah, 'cause
I mean, we have it, so.
Yeah, again, I go after about, I'm having trouble believing that this guy would have had hands on a firearm and you didn't see him, so, that's a portion of it, but again, I was a little bit disadvantaged.
You lack the knowledge of.
I did, and sometimes we're all there, but, at least she was locked into to a statement. But
you had incomplete information on the facts,
Yeah.
and then you interviewed her. You initially believed he brought the gun into the Walmart.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, and nobody was able to tell me otherwise because everything was kind of.
How'd you end the interview with her?
Victim witness arrived here, and I had them come in and talk to her. I did have her complete a statement, which I believe you guys probably got a copy of by now. And I notified her that he was deceased. She didn't seem to know that.
After being treated as if she were some sort of criminal, Thomas was told that Crawford did not survive his injuries.
At the time, so her mom arrived here, and so I had her. Well, I guess we had her go out in the lobby, and then I sent her off with Mom. She signed a consent to search for her vehicle and a consent to search for the cell phone, which Officer Brownlee had and gave to me.
Whose cell phone?
Tasha's.
Tasha's. Okay.
Yeah. So I got all that stuff signed. I mean, because initially we were kind of moving that direction, but it didn't surprise me we ended up with the search warrant under the circumstances. So, but I at least got that done, and basically I sent her with Mom. She did show up at the scene shortly after I did a few things here. I went to Walmart. She came out there with her mom and was kind of wondering what was going on with her Suburban, because I told her, I said, I don't know what the timeline is. I said, certainly we're not going to try to keep her vehicle any longer than we have to, because she mentioned that.
It's Tasha Thomas, right?
Yes. She's a home health care aide and needs her car, needs her cell phone, just like anybody. But I said, under the circumstances, I can't say how long we're going to keep it, but we want to make sure we accomplish what we have to before we release it. So, and that was probably about.
Did you do anything at the scene?
No, the only thing I did, since they were bringing your guys in, I didn't do any evidence work or anything else. The only thing I did, I went in and walked about the aisles looking for purses and wallets and anything that needed to be secured before, you guys would have released the scene the next day. So, but that of course gave me an opportunity to find that grocery cart. And it was right where she said it would be. Had basically the stuff in it she said also. So, in the end, I guess I would have to believe that, that she didn't know anything about any weapon, and she claimed she didn't hear any shots fired, which, it's a little surprising. But we had a homicide here a couple of years ago where there was 5 people sleeping in a 2-story house, and the son shot the dad downstairs and shot him like 5 times, and nobody heard a thing. So I guess it happens.
You went back to the cell phone. When you guys took the cell phone, I know she had the battery tape over it. Did anybody take the tape or the battery off of the back of off of the phone?
Not that I know of.
But there seems to be a SIM card or the other micro card missing, so we can't locate it.
Okay. I did not. I got it from Officer Brownlee.
Okay. We're just trying to attempt to locate that, to give that back to her, because when we returned her phone to her, she was significantly upset that the card wasn't in there because they had all of her pictures on there. So, which I understand, but I just wanted to ask you about that.
No, I mean, I don't know why he would have removed it and not given it to me, but I put it in exactly. He said he turned it off, and I honestly didn't want to mess with it. I know, sometimes you want to put them in airplane mode or whatever, but I thought, well, with it off, we're probably in good shape. But, and, again, I just put it property and kind of
as is.
Yeah, I didn't do anything to it.
Good to
You have anything else?
That was it. Just
Yeah.
you already said the consent part, and I got
Yeah,
to
I
see the
mean-
interview and talk to Tasha yesterday. So
Yeah, I mean, since
that's
you
it.
guys were gonna be involved, we kinda
Makes
slowed
sense.
down what I
Makes sense.
normally do, so yeah.
Is there anything, Rod, I didn't ask you that you think I need to know?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, you know, again, we talked about the ride and about her contacts with him. She did mention, along with the drug part, that he told her at one time he had dealt some drugs. He never made any type of admission to her about any type of weapons, but it sounds like, you
Did
know,
he, and he said at one point in his life dealt drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, but, you know, as far as any weapons handling, of course, he does have a criminal history for a weapons violation, but, it doesn't sound like she admitted any of that to him.
Okay.
But I can't think of anything
No, that's
else.
fine.
I mean,
And you got my card, so if
Yes,
anything comes
yes.
to mind, you can call up to Tasha or me.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll get you a narrative here soon. I got it recorded.
Okay,
It's
yes.
gonna get
Yep.
typed out.
No rush
Yep.
on that.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll be here a few days.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Rod.
Do that. All right, thank you.
Ooh, my foot fell asleep. Would you walk up there and just tell them to turn the videos off?
Sure will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thomas was not the only one who did not hear the shot. It was not particularly loud, and depending on the other noises in the store and the distance, it is reasonable that it could have been missed. At no time is Kurd questioned about his handling of the interview or the accusations he made against Thomas.